Welcome back to the channel where history isn't just recorded in books, but echoes through ghostly whispers and figures lurking in the night. We've explored many chilling locations together, but today I'm taking you to the heart of the city that never sleeps, New York, to a place where time seems to stand still, an ancient mansion hidden amongst modern buildings, the Morris-Jumel Mansion. This isn't just the oldest surviving house in Manhattan. It's a place steeped in dramatic historical accounts, political intrigue, romantic tragedies, and of course, countless rumors of ghosts. From George Washington to Aaron Burr, from revolutionary soldiers to mysterious servants, many figures have passed through these doors, and it seems some of them chose to stay forever. Especially as the Halloween season approaches, the mansion's inherent eerie atmosphere thickens, drawing brave souls seeking a thrilling experience. So what turned this magnificent mansion into one of New York's most famous haunted destinations? Which spirits are hiding behind these ancient walls? And are the stories of midnight footsteps, disembodied voices, and the legendary ghost of Eliza Jumel true? In this first part of our two-part series, we'll delve into the turbulent history of Morris-Jumel, from its initial construction through the volatile American Revolution to the tragedies and scandals of the Jumel family. A foundational story to understand why this place became an unwilling hotel for spirits. Before stepping through this haunting portal of time, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. Your support is invaluable fuel for us to continue exploring the most terrifying mysteries. Now prepare yourselves. We're about to enter the world of the Morris-Jumel Mansion. Our story begins in 1765 when British Colonel Roger Morris and his American wife Mary Phillips Morris built a magnificent summer mansion on one of the highest points in Manhattan. Named Mount Morris, this Palladian-style estate sat on a vast 135-acre property stretching from the Harlem River to the Hudson River, including a working farm. With its commanding views of the surrounding area, it was a symbol of the Morris family's wealth and status in colonial society. However, their lavish life at Mount Morris lasted only a decade. When the American Revolution broke out in 1775-1776, the Morris family, being loyalists to the British Crown, were forced to abandon their home and eventually move to England. Their dream home now became part of the fight for independence. With its strategic location, Mount Morris was quickly sought after as headquarters by both sides of the war. From September to October 1776, General George Washington himself chose it as his headquarters. It was here that he planned and achieved the Continental Army's first significant victory in the Battle of Harlem Heights. It's said that Washington paced these floors, charting strategies for his troops. There's even a rumor that Washington chose this house not just for its location, but because Mary Morris, the beautiful owner, had been a love interest of his 20 years prior. A bit of dramatic romance amidst the fires of war. However, after Washington was forced to retreat, the mansion fell back into the hands of the British Army and their Hessian German mercenary allies for the remainder of the war. It was during this chaotic period that one of the first ghosts is said to have appeared at the mansion. Legend tells that a Hessian soldier died on the main staircase, possibly from a fall or even falling onto his own bayonet. The spirit of this soldier is believed to still linger on the stairs to this day. For me, this revolutionary period is a crucial layer in the house's haunted history. It witnessed not only historic decisions, but also violence, conflict, and death. The fact that it served as quarters for opposing forces with their conflicting energies might have created a spiritual instability, a foundation for later phenomena. Could the Hessian soldier's ghost be the first otherworldly resident here? After the war, the mansion was confiscated by the state of New York and sold to cover war debts. It briefly operated as a tavern, and in July 1790, then-President Washington returned for a symbolic dinner with his cabinet. But the tavern soon closed and the house was abandoned once again. The mansion's true revival came in 1810, when it was purchased by Stephen Jumel, a wealthy French merchant, and his ambitious wife, Eliza Jumel. They undertook major renovations, transforming the house in the fashionable Empire style, adding a federal-style entrance and furnishing it lavishly. The mansion once again became a symbol of luxury and social status in New York. But it is the tumultuous and scandalous life of Mrs. Eliza Jumel that forms the most fascinating and ghostly chapter in the house's history. Eliza Bowen, later Jumel then Burr, was an extraordinary and controversial figure. Born in 1775 into poverty in Rhode Island, rumors circulated that her mother was a prostitute and that Eliza herself had spent time in a workhouse. But Eliza possessed beauty, intelligence, and a burning ambition to escape her low social standing. She came to New York and worked as an extra in the theater, a position that often helped young women catch the eye of wealthy men. It was here she met Stephen Jumel, a married French merchant. Eliza quickly became his mistress. According to malicious but very popular New York gossip, Eliza used deceit to compel Stephen to marry her. She allegedly feigned a fatal illness, claiming her last wish before dying was to marry him. Stephen, perhaps out of pity or pressure, agreed, and Eliza miraculously recovered right after the wedding. Whether this story is true or not, Eliza achieved her goal. She became the wife of one of New York's wealthiest men. However, their marriage seemed less than happy. Stephen frequently stayed in France on business while Eliza remained in America. But Eliza was not a wife who merely enjoyed the wealth. She proved herself to be an extremely intelligent and shrewd businesswoman. While Stephen was away, she managed his assets invested in real estate and significantly increased the family fortune, becoming one of the wealthiest women in New York. For a woman, especially one of Eliza's background, to achieve such resounding success in the male-dominated business world of the early 19th century was incredibly rare and made many in New York's elite society uncomfortable and jealous. They didn't accept her, and malicious rumors about her past and how she acquired her wealth proliferated. This isolation and judgment may have contributed to Eliza's somewhat bitter personality and obsession with status later in life. In 1832, tragedy struck. Stephen Jumel died after a strange accident. The most popular and gruesome story tells that he fell from a hay wagon and landed on a pitchfork. He was brought back to the mansion severely injured but still alive. And this is where the most malicious rumor emerges. It's said that Eliza herself removed her husband's bandages during the night, causing him to bleed to death. Other versions say Stephen died of pneumonia or simply from complications of the accident. There is no evidence linking Eliza to her husband's death, and if she had truly been suspected, the police certainly would have investigated. But the rumor that she killed her husband for his fortune stuck stubbornly to Eliza, contributing to her public image as a ruthless and cunning woman. Could Stephen's ghost, said to still moan in agony within the mansion, be proof of that rumor? Just over a year after Stephen's death in 1833, Eliza Jumel, now an incredibly wealthy widow, remarried another equally notorious figure, Aaron Burr. Burr had served as vice president under Thomas Jefferson, but his political career was ruined after he killed his rival Alexander Hamilton in a legendary duel in 1804. Burr, now elderly and nearly bankrupt, was clearly attracted to Eliza's vast fortune. Eliza, perhaps hoping marriage to a former vice president would finally grant her the social standing she craved. The wedding took place in the mansion's front parlor. However, it quickly turned into a disaster. Burr squandered Eliza's money on failed speculations. After only a few months, Eliza realized her mistake and filed for divorce in 1834. And in a twist of delicious irony, the lawyer Eliza hired for the divorce was none other than Alexander Hamilton Jr., the son of the man Burr had killed. The divorce was finalized on the very day Aaron Burr died in 1836. The brief and tumultuous marriage to Aaron Burr only added to Eliza's notoriety. Could Burr's ghost, said to also haunt his former bedroom in the mansion, still be regretting the lost love and money? Eliza Jumel lived the rest of her life in the mansion, continuing to manage her businesses and care for her extended family, including her beloved sister's grandchildren. She continued to travel between America and Europe. In her later years, she reportedly suffered from dementia. She passed away at home in 1865 at the age of 90. Even in death, Eliza caused controversy. She left the bulk of her vast estate to a local church and other charities, infuriating relatives who had expected a generous inheritance. They launched a 2-decade legal battle over her will, attempting to prove Eliza was mentally incompetent when she wrote it. It's highly possible that many of the most malicious rumors about Eliza originated from this family feud. Eventually, the heirs won the case. They sold off the land and the mansion. The house once again fell into disrepair. Fortunately, the city of New York acquired it in 1903 and turned it into a museum in 1904, preserving this historic structure for future generations. The history of the Morris-Jumel Mansion is a complex, colorful tapestry of early America. It witnessed the birth of a nation, the ambitions and tragedies of powerful people, and especially the extraordinary life of Eliza Jumel, a woman who rose above her circumstances but never escaped gossip and prejudice. It is this dramatic historical backdrop filled with mysterious deaths, lingering feuds, and intense emotions that created the perfect atmosphere for ghost stories to flourish. Even Eliza herself, while alive, complained that the house was haunted. Was she sensing the spirits from the revolution? Or did she somehow foresee that she too would become part of this ghostly legend? When the mansion became a museum in 1904, the initial management tried to avoid the ghost stories, fearing damage to its historical reputation or attracting overly superstitious people, but the spirits seemed indifferent to museum policy. Reports of supernatural phenomena continued to surface from visitor staff and even those living in the caretaker's apartment in the basement. Today, the Morris-Jumel Mansion is more open, even leveraging its haunted reputation, especially during the Halloween season, to attract a large number of curious visitors. Ghost tours and paranormal investigations are held regularly, offering a chance, however slim, to connect with the unseen residents. Among all the spirits said to haunt the mansion, none is more famous or frequently reported than the former mistress herself, Eliza Jumel. It seems this strong-willed and ambitious woman, after passing away in 1865 at age 90, decided that even death couldn't separate her from the house she loved and painstakingly cultivated. Eliza's ghost is described in various ways. Sometimes she appears as a classic apparition in a flowing white or purple dress, silently wandering the grounds or weeping. But most reports describe a much more lively and somewhat cantankerous Eliza. The most famous story happened in the 1960s. A group of school children waiting outside to enter the tour became a bit noisy. Suddenly, an elderly woman in old-fashioned clothing, a purple dress according to some descriptions, appeared on the second-floor balcony and scolded the children, telling them to be quiet because her husband was very ill. When the museum curator finally arrived and opened the door, the teacher and students asked about the woman. The curator insisted that the house had been locked and no one else was inside. Once inside, upon seeing the portrait of Eliza Jumel, all the children pointed and said that was the woman who had yelled at them. What's even creepier is that the balcony where she appeared is actually not structurally sound enough to support the weight of a living person. Eliza seemingly still maintains her role as mistress of the house. Frequently making her presence known, she is said to knock on walls and windows to get attention. She is also heard walking on the second floor, especially near her old bedroom. Some staff members believe she prefers women to men, as paranormal activity seems stronger when only women are in her bedroom. Although sometimes seemingly benign, Eliza's ghost is also known to be quite difficult. She reportedly yelled at visitors or uttered profanities during a seance broadcast live on the radio, causing the program to be cut off. To me, Eliza's ghost is the perfect embodiment of the complexity of the woman herself in life. A strong, intelligent, ambitious woman who was also judged and isolated by society. Perhaps her attachment to the house stems not only from love, but also from an obsession with the status and recognition she fought her whole life to achieve. Her scolding the children might just be the annoyance of an old lady, but it could also reflect a lingering resentment towards a world that never fully accepted her. Eliza might be the main star, but she isn't the only spirit at Morris-Jumel. The house's long and turbulent history has left behind quite a large cast of ghostly supporting characters. The Hessian soldier. As mentioned in Part 1, the spirit of the German mercenary who died on the main staircase is believed to still haunt that area. People occasionally see his apparition on the stairs or hear heavy footsteps. The suicidal maid. Legend tells that a young maid was discovered having an affair with a family member. It's unclear whether from the Morris or Jumel family, and took her own life by jumping from a third-floor window where the servants' quarters used to be. Her ghost is said to still haunt this floor. The giggling of two women sometimes heard from the basement where the kitchen used to be might be other servants. Stephen Jumel, Eliza's first husband, whose mysterious death involved a pitchfork. Some people report hearing agonized moans in the mansion, believed to be Stephen reliving his horrific final moments. The psychic Hans Holzer, during a seance in 1965, claimed to have contacted Stephen, who did nothing but complain about his wife, Eliza Aaron Burr. Eliza's notorious second husband, who died shortly after their divorce. Paranormal activity, including the famous EVP recording, is often noted in his former bedroom. Is he still lingering here, regretting the short-lived marriage or the lost fortune, George Washington? Some even claim to have seen or sensed the presence of the first president, who once used this place as his headquarters. Heavy footsteps on the second floor are sometimes attributed to him. Other Revolutionary soldiers. Besides the Hessian soldier, ghosts of American soldiers have also been reported. A strange story tells of two teachers at different times seeing a soldier step out of a painting in the house. The presence of various spirits from different historical periods adds to the complexity and mystery of Morris-Jumel. It's like a living or unliving chronicle of Manhattan, where historical figures and unknown commoners share the afterlife space. Besides the appearances of specific spirits, the Morris-Jumel Mansion is also known for a host of other supernatural phenomena. Poltergeist activity. Heavy footsteps when no one is around, knocking on doors and walls, doors opening and closing on their own lights. Turning on and off by themselves, and furniture moving on its own are frequently reported. Recently, staff in the first-floor gift shop heard the sound of a table being dragged and women laughing from the basement, the old kitchen. Upon checking, they found no one, but the heavy wooden table in the kitchen had been pushed askew. Disembodied voices and EVP. Whispers, screams, and even short conversations are often heard. Paranormal investigators frequently capture electronic voice phenomena, EVPs. The most famous is the recording from Aaron Burr's bedroom, where a loud, echoing voice unheard at the time shouted something. People debate its content. Some hear, "They're going to laugh at you," while others hear, "He doesn't love you." Whatever it is, it's extremely creepy. The winking clock. One of the quirkiest and most amusing phenomena is the antique clock in the dining room. This clock has a moon face decoration on its dial. It's rumored that this moon winks at handsome men who walk by. Of course, it's not always in the mood to do so. This might just be an optical illusion or a playful joke, but it adds to the mansion's unique mystique. Sensations and energy. Visitors and staff regularly report feeling watched, sudden cold spots, or the presence of strange static electricity in the air. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters frequently spike erratically, especially around Eliza Jumel's antique furniture, even when there are no electrical sources nearby. So how does one ghost hunt at a historic site like Morris-Jumel? The museum, now under the guidance of events manager and paranormal investigator Vincent Carbone, employs a rather methodical and respectful approach. Carbone emphasizes that the goal of the investigations is not to provoke or disturb the spirits, but to explore history in a different way and possibly debunk false rumors about historical figures, especially Eliza Jumel. Approach method. Carbone avoids confrontational or provocative methods often seen on TV shows. He believes in a respectful approach, introducing himself and the investigation team's intentions to the spirits. He also tries to recreate the historical context, for instance, by playing classical music, hoping to attract the spirits' attention. Equipment. Basic equipment typically used includes EMF meters, K2 meters, detecting EMF fluctuations, spirit boxes scanning radio frequencies, audio recorders for EVPs, motion-activated lights, laser grids, and sometimes infrared cameras. Results. As mentioned, devices frequently register unusual activity, especially EMF meters around Eliza's furniture and in Burr's room. Motion-activated light-up balls also sometimes illuminate on their own. EVP recordings have yielded notable results as well. Historical respect. Importantly, the ghost tours here always incorporate historical context. Visitors aren't just looking for ghosts, they're also learning about the lives of the people who lived and died here, the social context, and the events that took place. This approach, in my opinion, is the right direction for paranormal tourism at historical sites. It balances curiosity about the supernatural with respect for the past and the people who shaped it. With its rich history and established haunted reputation, the Morris-Jumel Mansion becomes an ideal venue for activities during the Halloween season. The museum often organizes special ghost tours in October, attracting crowds eager for a thrilling experience in an authentic historical setting. Wandering through the dark rooms where George Washington once walked, where Aaron Burr once slept, and where Eliza Jumel is believed to still reside, certainly offers a unique thrill that few constructed haunted houses can match. The Morris-Jumel Mansion is a precious gem of New York, a gateway to the past. But it's also a place shrouded in mystery and unanswered questions. Are the footsteps Washington's? What is the voice in Burr's room saying? And is the mistress Eliza Jumel truly still reigning over her mansion from the other side? Perhaps we'll never know for sure, but it is that ambiguity, that blend of history and legend, of truth and the inexplicable, that keeps the Morris-Jumel Mansion alive in our imagination as a reminder that the past never truly dies, and neither, it seems, do some spirits. Thank you for exploring Manhattan's oldest and perhaps one of its most haunted houses with me. What do you think about the ghosts here? Do you believe the stories about Eliza Jumel? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue joining us on the path to unveiling the world's most terrifying mysteries. Goodbye and see you next time.